Hi, and welcome to the Grace Cycle Show. I'm your host, Karen Dittman, and our goal here is for you to stop trying harder in your relationship with God and find a different way to grow through His grace. In today's episode, I'm going to talk a little more practically about how we implement the grace cycle in our lives. But before I get started today, do you feel like your life is like a hamster wheel that's spinning and it just won't stop? If so, then I have a quiz for you to take. It's going to only take you 50 seconds. It's called How Fast Is Your Hamster Wheel Spinning? You can check it out at hamster.onefit-wellness.com or just click on the link in the show notes. And this quiz will help you to see what's spinning your hamster wheel, how that's impacting you, and what you can do to help slow it down. So getting into today's episode, I want to talk to you about how we practically apply the grace cycle in our lives. And I've talked about these 5 steps of the grace cycle sequentially, where we start by the G, get clear on what needs to change. R, reconcile through acceptance with the things that you can't change or you can't control. And often this is the past, but sometimes it's other people in your life or other situations and circumstances. The A is to act through one simple change. C is community. We need support as we're moving forward in our life. And E is excitement. We need to celebrate our wins. So like I said, I've talked about these sequentially, but the reality is these can overlap. As we are working on change in our life, we might be implementing different aspects of the grace cycle at the same time. Now, it is important to actually get clear before you start to try to make any changes so that you're intentional and walking intentionally through all of this. And I always find it helpful to start by identifying just one root issue that might be causing a lot of your life to be off. As I thought about this and the phrase root issue, it reminded me a few years ago, we were in a different house where the sewer backed up. And when that happens, obviously you can't just clean up the mess and move on, right? There's a lot more. You need to understand and fix what caused the backup. And sometimes it is literally roots that have grown into the sewer system and are causing blockages. So we had someone come in and look at what it was. In our house, it actually wasn't roots. As they looked at some different possibilities, it turned out there's this part that connects your house plumbing to the sewer system. And ours, it was a very old house built in the mid-1970s. So ours was made of cast iron. And over time, the cast iron was rusting and corroded. And as things were going through it, they were getting stuck on this corroded iron. And it eventually caused a blockage that caused the entire thing to just overflow back up into our basement. I know, yuck. This example I know is kind of gross, but I think it's actually helpful because sometimes all you know is that there's a problem in your life, but you don't know what's causing it. And if all you do is clean up what's on the surface, this issue underneath is going to continue causing messes. And so when you're in this situation where you know there's something that's causing ongoing problems, but you don't know why, you might feel like you're spinning on a hamster wheel. You might feel like you're wading through muck, or you might feel like you're just stuck and you can't move forward in life. And I find that often it can be hard to see the cause from inside the mess. Just like we needed to call in a professional plumber to look inside and find out what was the problem. Sometimes it helps to have an insightful friend or somebody you can just talk out what's going on. And from the outside, where they're not caught up in all of the things that are going on in your life, sometimes somebody else can see better and help you figure out and get clear on the root cause of your struggles. And I'll just throw this out there. I am actually available for a 30-minute call if you need somebody to talk to who is like a neutral person, who's not in the life, who's not in it with you, who's not going to judge you, who's not going to say, why in the world are you letting this go on? If you just need somebody to talk to and listen through your story and listen through what's going on and help you sort through to get clear on that root issue, please go ahead and just book a call with me. And that will be at the link calendar.onefit-wellness.com. Just get on my calendar for 30 minutes. Or you can also just click on, I'll put another link in the show notes so you don't have to remember that right now. But I just want to offer that opportunity, that help to you if you need somebody to talk through and help you get clear. But then once you have gotten clear on the root issue and where you need to start working, then you might find that these other steps of the grace cycle kind of happen together. You may find that building new habits through one simple change brings up new layers of your story where you need to work through reconciling and accepting what's caused these issues in your life. Community support is the fourth stage of the grace cycle, but you don't have to wait until after you have practiced acceptance and reconciliation and after you have chosen one simple change to start building your support community. You can do that early on, and maybe you already have people in your life who are there to support you. That's awesome. And then excitement, celebrating all those wins, that needs to be a part of your daily habits right from the beginning. That every time you succeed in one simple habit change, every time you make one step in the new direction, it's important that you celebrate that. Don't wait until later before you start that. Incorporate that right from the beginning. I like to say that practicing the grace cycle is a lot like learning to drive a car. If you think about when you're driving, there are a lot of individual skills that are involved. And if you've been driving for years, you probably aren't even aware anymore of what you're doing. You're driving, you're maintaining your speed, you're staying aware of your surroundings, you are staying in your lane. You're doing all of these things without really being consciously aware of them, and you're doing them all at the same time. But a new driver needs to be very conscious about all these details. Using the blinker, making sure the headlights are on, checking the mirrors for cars around them, accelerating, braking, all of these important skills. And in order to drive a car, you need to master all of these skills at the same time, not one by one. You don't just sit in the car and turn the blinker on and turn the blinker off and turn the blinker on and then practice turning the steering wheel and then turn it off, right? We get in the car, maybe we start driving slowly and we have somebody in the car to support us and help us. But we start driving, we back out of the driveway and we turn the steering wheel and then we go forward. And when it comes to a turn, then we hit the blinker and then we turn the car and then we're checking the mirrors. So we start slowly with all of these skills, but we're still working on them all at the same time. And it's similar with the grace cycle. You'll be practicing new habits. You'll be reaching out for support. You'll be celebrating your wins. You'll be accepting the things that you can't control all at once. And you can start slowly and you can start small with small changes. Again, the new driver doesn't hit the road and go on a road trip the first time they get in a car. They don't drive 6 hours to another state. Same thing. Start small. Start slow. But start. That's the thing I really want to encourage you. Don't overthink this. Just do it. Just start it. Now, of course, with the grace cycle, the good news is that unlike driving a car, you're not going to just crash and burn if you don't remember one day to be aware of your wins and thank God and celebrate those, right? But over time, all of this will become more and more natural and more a part of your daily life, more a part of your relationship with God and how you interact with God, until eventually they're not even really conscious choices. So let me encourage you, whether you are stuck in the muck and you're not sure how to even get clear on what needs to change in your life, or you are moving forward and getting closer to Jesus, or maybe you're somewhere in between, remember that God's grace is always with you to empower you. You can experience real change in life that lasts through the grace cycle. So I want to let you know that this episode is the end of season 1. I'm so excited to have gotten the first 12 episodes out. And now at this point, I'm starting to work on season 2. I'm recording some amazing interviews with people who are going to encourage you so much. You're going to be so blessed by hearing their stories. And I've got some other teachings and pieces that I will interweave into the next season. But at this point, I'm going to just go ahead and take a couple of weeks off as I'm planning for and recording for the next season. And I would also encourage you and invite you, if you have a story of how you have seen God's grace in your life, overcoming something that is humanly impossible, please reach out to me, Karen at onefit.us. And I would love to hear your story and see if it would be a good fit for the Grace Cycle podcast in the future. I'm super excited for what's coming in the next few months. So you're going to want to subscribe to the podcast so that you're able to be notified as soon as the new episodes start dropping again in a few weeks. And in the meantime, I just want to encourage you, if you are still struggling to get clear, maybe you'd like to book a call with me, or maybe you could start with the quiz, How Fast is Your Hamster Wheel Spinning, at hamster.onefit-wellness.com. And this quiz will help you start to sort through some of that. And then from that quiz, maybe you'd like to book a call with me. No pressure. I just want you to know I'm available for you. But my heart and my hope is to support you as you learn to thrive by living in grace. So that's it for today, and that's it for season 1. Remember, please take a minute to subscribe to the show, and it would mean the world to me if you would rate or review this podcast, and that way more people can find it. So until next time, get curious, stay connected, and live in grace.